What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Full Court Talk. It's been a while, so how you guys doing?
Good to be back. Good to see y'all. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to see
definitely.
everybody.
We have a lot to get to. First topic, health and safety protocol seems like the most common injury, I guess. If you're playing fantasy, half your team's got to be out from health and safety. I feel bad if you have any Bulls players because like the almost the entire team is gone now. Then we're going to talk about quarter season NBA awards. So MVP, Rookie of the Year, Depoy, Coach of the Year, MIP, Six Man, all those. And we'll make finals guesses. And then to round it out, biggest surprise player and biggest disappointment player. So we'll get to that. But starting out with should the NBA be concerned over the amount of players testing positive for COVID? So I think they should be. We all expected there to be like a couple of cases after Thanksgiving, especially a little after because people have late Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, stuff like that. But there's no reason an entire team should go down to COVID. The Bulls have reached 10 players today. Kobe White is supposed to return, but he's still ramping up his exercises. So he's due back later this week. But then the NBA canceled their next two games. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen. But I think they have 8 available players without Kobe White. So it's bad for a team to reach 10, and we're kind of not. We're still in the midst of the pandemic, but it's still like it's getting better. It's still a concern, uh, and it seems like every day a new player is testing positive, and it's all on the East Coast. If you look at it, East or Mid, rarely anyone on the West Coast and the West Coast teams are getting COVID. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
So that's good. That's a good sign, but it's also concerning for the Eastern Conference at least. But what do you guys think? Should the NBA be concerned about the amount of COVID amount of positive tests recently?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so because you look at the Bulls situation. If this were to happen in the most previous season, there would be a pause for sure. And I know they did. The next two games have been postponed, and I think that's the best decision. But somebody on the Bulls has to do some sort of contact tracing because it's ridiculous. It all started with one, and then everybody got it. So I don't know what they're doing. Whoever was the first person to contract it or to be in contact with somebody who had it needs to take better care of themselves because look what happened. And this is like the prime example of what the NBA has been fearing from the jump, right? From last season. I think that's what they were afraid of happening, and it's happening before our eyes with the Bulls. And so, as a basketball fan, I would hate it if they had to pause the season again. But with like you said, in the midst of the pandemic, although it's getting better, new mutations of the viruses are starting to arise, and it might be a time to really, really be strict with everything going on again. Some coaches they still wear masks, some don't, right? And I think some of the arenas are just straight up filled, right? And I think the NBA just has to look at this and see like, wow, like we've come so far, but it could go all to waste if we're not very careful. And I've never seen anything like that for the Bulls. Obviously this is just the third season in during the pandemic, but that's just a prime example of what can happen if they don't control things fast. And so I think the NBA needs to look at the situation and just think about how they can help preserve the players moving forward because you'd rather make the sacrifice now rather than later on when things start to get interesting, play in playoffs, finals. You don't want things happening during that time. So I would just say they got to be much more strict. And obviously we talked about the pandemic. I mean the vaccinations and all that stuff and forcing it upon people. And I think the NBA has good numbers of people that have been vaccinated, but it's just the rules. They need to be more considerate of everybody in the arena and in the entire staff.
Yeah, I would also be very concerned because over half their depth chart, 10 players is out. And they even have two media members that are also out. I'm also concerned because they just played on Saturday. They played the Heat, and then before that they played the Cavs last Wednesday. So hopefully there was no transmission with those two teams. Because obviously, like, you know how in math when you have all these variables and then you just add them all in, like who did the Cavs play? Who did the Heat play? So it's very alarming. I hope people are more careful. I know if people have the booster, they haven't been testing every day, so maybe the NBA can intensify that a little more. Um, and also, yeah, you had the two players. You had RJ Barrett and Obi Toppin over the weekend, and then you had John Morant late last week. So yeah, it is spreading a little bit. Good on the NBA for canceling the next two games. Of course, they come back on Sunday against the Lakers, but I mean, I guess it's fine. But yeah, hopefully this is as bad as it gets. We'll see after Christmas and how it goes into early January.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think the NBA is going to think about pausing the season at all. I think they've seen how that went, and I don't think they want to go to that again. I think they're going to weather the storm. But with Christmas coming up, I think that's an even worse thing to have because you got these guys going home for the holidays. The teams that don't play on Christmas are all going to be at home. Maybe they're with friends, family. You don't know what's going to happen. And I think another thing is like with all these guys getting COVID on the Bulls, it's not just like the role players, it's the star players, and the effects of COVID happen like they're long-term issues. So the Bulls could be feeling this for 2 to 3 months from now. And that's a really big concern for them because they're one of the top dogs in the East. And this could easily derail their season. And from being one of the best teams, they could easily become one of the bottom feeders just like that because of COVID. So it's going to be tough to watch for if I'm a Bulls fan. And for even if I'm an NBA fan, you don't want to see this because this can, like CJ said, this can all go away so quickly and you need to be more careful. So I think, like, what do you guys think about the NBA pushing fans back even further? Because there's no reason people should be courtside unless everyone's fully vaccinated. At least on the West Coast, every team, and I think New York and so on have to be vaccinated. So in the places where you don't have to be vaccinated, why don't you just push them back 4 to 5 rows? Something to keep the players safe. But what do you guys think?
Well, honestly, like I would be a fan of that, and I mean it's a lot of work, but maybe the dividers too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like well, at my job, the secretary or the office attendant, she literally has this clear thing between us and her, and I think a revamped version of that for the players and the personnel would be efficient. And in some arenas, you got people sitting right next to the players again, and some of them, as we see on TV, are not even masked up. And so like you can still catch it at the end of the day. You can still catch it even if you're fully vaccinated. And so I would be a fan of moving fans back. It might suck for the person watching, but at the end of the day, safety is the number one concern. And so I'll definitely be in favor of that. And, that's the sacrifice that us fans would have to make as opposed to pausing the season. And like you said, it's highly unlikely that they do that, but it's kind of like you pick your poison, right? Would you rather be able to watch but sit further than usual or just not have the season at all, right? And I also think it helps out the NBA players because, some fans are in the front are very rowdy. And at the end of the day, it's also, like I said, it's a safety issue when they run into the players or when the players run into them. And, so now that people are back in the arenas, that's, possibility of people getting hurt. So at the end of the day, I would be in favor of pushing fans back. And also, Caruso, take care of yourself.
He's a star now.
The GOAT. I'm gonna try to comment on this without getting too political. It's crazy seeing all these games, whether it be NBA, football, seeing how normal it is again, how close people are sitting to each other, and especially in states that are majority anti-vax. It's very concerning. I can't imagine because honestly, California and New York are the way to go. You have to be vaccinated, and you still have to wear masks. And it's just so annoying when people like, oh my God, I'm so oppressed. Like, don't make me take this. Like, okay, my body, my choice. Yeah. Anyway, um, I would hope that teams, and honestly the league, because it starts with the league, and then the teams will follow suit. So even though different states have their different rules, hopefully the NBA steps in and is like, hey, if you are in a state that has very loose vaccination policies, then tighten up somehow, some way, lessen the number, start separating by seed again, something. Because yeah, you're right. Having people courtside in those states, especially with this new variant out, it could be like the bubble season again when it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. So hopefully the NBA gets ahead of it, because if not, then maybe the Warriors don't get a chance to win a title this year.
No, we're going back to Disney World. I don't care.
Mickey Mouse Part 2.
Hey, we know who the defending champs are.
Yeah, you guys got ADisney, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But speaking of MVPs, let's get on to the quarter season NBA wars. So the first word we're going to talk about is MVP. Who is your guys' MVP so far, and why is it Steph?
Oh God, yeah, it has to be Steph, because I didn't think they'd be this good. I really didn't. And obviously Steph gets that credit. Draymond gets some credit too, because he's actually trying to shoot the damn ball and looking to score. We know about Jordan Poole's improvement. We know like they're the best defense in the NBA. But I mean, Steph is having a really good year again, and the record speaks for itself.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, CJ.
Oh, sorry. I have Matisse Thybulle. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
No, I mean, yeah, it has to be Steph. Like Myles said, the record speaks for itself. You know, as we've discussed before, the MVP is a regular season award, and what Steph is doing so far for the Warriors and the impact that he's had is undeniable. Although, the Suns and the Warriors are fighting for the number one seed right now. To go from where the Warriors were at last season to how they are now, because the Suns, like, they're coming off a Western Conference berth, and so the Warriors were just barely made it to the play-in, and lost to Grizzlies, and now with the players that they have, because it's essentially the same players with the exception of maybe 3 rotation players that are new this season, and the emergence of Jordan Poole, and to do this without Wiseman and Clay, like, Steph is leading the charge, and it's very well deserved. And I think it's a disservice to him if he's not the conversation for MVP so far. So like I said, what he's doing for the Warriors, it's great. They're playing winning basketball again, and it has a lot to do with that man right there. And it gives everybody that 2014, 2015 vibes. So, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, I was very tempted to pick KD because KD has been tearing it up this season, and without Kyrie, without kind of James Harden's a shell of himself at this point. I was almost gonna pick KD, especially if it's 51 last night, but I'm still going Steph to bring the Warriors to where they are now, and to almost breaking the 3-point record, which has nothing to do with the MVP. I think at the age of 33, it's crazy. It's an exciting time if you're a Warriors fan. Klay Thompson isn't even back yet. We have 9 more days of no Klay Thompson. Maybe returns on the 20th. So I'm excited for that. Steph has been crazy. He's put up 50 in a game. He's been much better on defense this season, which I think has been a knock for him in the past. He's been crazy on defense. So I'm excited. I think this is somehow the best version of Steph we've had. Not ever. I think there are better versions of Steph, but this is one of his best versions. He's turning himself into a better two-way player. So I think Steph has to be in the conversation, but Jokic deserves to be in that conversation too. He's not getting any love. I think people are saying that he's gotten worse. I think last week he averaged like 28, 13, and 11 on like ridiculous shooting splits. And LeBron had ridiculous shooting splits too. He was 28, 9, and 8 or something. So it was well deserved for LeBron, but Jokic deserves his flowers too. He's been crazy good, but definitely Steph's my MVP. But Rookie of the Year, I asked Scotty Barnes. I think a lot of people were surprised by Scotty Barnes getting picked so high. I myself was pretty high on Scotty Barnes coming in just because he plays with a passion that you rarely see from a kid. He is so damn good on defense. That dude is crazy with his IQ. So that alone is what made me think he was going to succeed. But his offense is actually well along, or better along than I thought it would be. His jumper is not too bad. It's getting better. I think he's choosing his shots much more efficiently. So he's been better at that. But at 20 years old, Scotty's going to be a hell of a player. And Evan Mobley is a guy that I didn't think was going to be this good. Dude is the epitome of a unicorn. He's a good shooter, good finisher, great defender. So both of them, and this whole draft class alone, I think is going to be phenomenal down the road. But Scotty Barnes has my pick. But who are your guys' choices for Rookie of the Year or choice?
Yeah, for me, it was a toss-up between the same two guys, but I actually picked Mobley just because they have a better record. And I feel like there was more doubt there just because of how big their rotation is. But yeah, I mean, Cleveland's the fourth seed in the East, despite their big lineup. And Mobley's been a big part of that. As you said, he can do everything. He can shoot. He can defend. He's a solid big. And yeah, with Barnes, I did sleep on him. I know you were very high on him. He's been putting up crazy numbers, and he's just very solid. Like, he reminds me a lot of Alex Caruso, where he does what is needed to be done in the moment, and not everyone will do that. So yeah, toss up between those two guys. You can pick them.
Yeah, same with me. But originally I was gonna say Chris Duarte because I like what he's been doing for the Pacers. I think they found another gem, same way that the Bucks had with what's his name, Brogdon. I think it's another version of him, but this time it's for the Pacers. But to pick my Rookie of the Year, I would have to go with Evan Mobley, like Myles said. What he's doing for the Cavs and how the Cavs are, changing their culture. And I mean, we all thought the bigs weren't going to work, and to be the fourth seed with Ricky Rubio as your point guard and three other bigs in your lineup, I think that's just a testament of how the culture is changing over there. And I think, like Myles said, he's a big part of that. Defensively, he gets it done. And, as soon as he develops that jumper, he's going to be so deadly because it's already, in my opinion, it's already efficient. And, the better that he gets, I think in the long term, out of the bigs that they have, obviously Kevin Love, he's almost done. Jared Allen, right? He's going to be part of their future. And I think that move for them, where they get rid of one of the guards, won't be as scary anymore because they know, that front court, they're solid. So to me, it can go either way. It can go Scotty Barnes or Evan Mobley. Those two are leading the charge. But, the number one pick isn't too far behind. He's catching up. And, Jalen Green was putting up numbers before he got hurt. But it looks kind of bad because the Rockets are winning without him. they went on a streak without him. So yeah, I got Mobley for sure. But it's tough. They're neck and neck. It's kind of like how Zion and Ja, even though Ja had the runnings from the get go, and then Zion came in, and but yeah, Evan Mobley.
Yeah, and I will say I love Jalen Green, but it looks like, I mean, he's not a bust by any means, but he is not. Let's say he's not putting up good numbers in terms of his efficiency, and like I think I don't like going off of plus and minus. So I think that's one of the stupidest things because it depends on the team. I think he has the worst plus and minus out of either all NBA players or the rookie class, but it's not looking good. I think he's going to pick it up when he gets back healthy. And Cade Cunningham, that dude is nasty. He's the total package. I think he's going to be phenomenal going forward at least. But for Depoy, who's your guys' choice for Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm surprised you didn't add the and why is it Draymond? It's Draymond. As we mentioned, Golden State has been the best defensive team in the league so far. So much so, and you brought it up, Spencer, that Steph is rated third behind Rudy Gobert. I had to double check that. And I was like, ain't no way, but it's true. God, it's a rough out here right now. Yeah, it's Draymond. It's Draymond because he should have more than one from 2017. I think we all agree on that. I'd argue he's like a top 5 defender ever, if not like 3, just because of his versatility. And he's 6'7", 6'8", if you want to be nice. He's bringing it back to 2015, 2016. Honestly, even last year, he's still doing what he does best. He covers up so much. Like it's kind of like how Steph has the gravity on offense. Draymond has that almost the same gravity on defense, and everyone around him is bought in. So I think if things go as they have been, it's Draymond.
Man, I hate you guys so much, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Retweet, bro. Honestly, dude. Every day at work, my coworker comes in. Hey, did you see the game? Hey, Steph Curry. Hey, Draymond. God, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good, man. Man, it's beautiful basketball though. I'm not gonna lie, but I do have Draymond as well. To quote a great scholar, also a basketball player named Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert does not put fear in my heart. Like Draymond Green will guard your favorite player's favorite player. You know what I mean? And he will lock him up. And I hate to say it, but if anything, last season when they had Wiseman, he couldn't do Draymond Green things. Even though, he was still elite on defense, it's almost as if without Wiseman, the floor is much more open and he can do his thing. Only because Kevon Looney knows how to play with him. I mean, obviously they want to chip together and they've been playing for so long. But I just think that he's running away with it. And the numbers show the Warriors have a top ranked defense. They're back on top of the league. And the numbers against Draymond on an island, it's crazy. It's kind of like that graphic that you had last year, or not last year, but last NBA season with Andrew Wiggins, when guarded by Wiggins. That's kind of like how you want to compare that. And it's a total team effort, but you got one guy leading the charge, and that's Draymond. And, I hate to say it too, but like you can even get clamped by Gary Payne. And I hate that so much. I hate it. But, kudos to them. And yeah, Draymond, it would be disrespectful if he wasn't at least considered in the running, in the finalist by that much, And like Myles said, like he should have more than one. He got robbed. And so this season, as long as everything, knock on wood, goes according to plan, he should take it and he deserves it.
Yeah, I would have said Draymond, but Steph is my default.
Fuck out of here. I'm out.
The only way I would say that is if Steph like put up ridiculous numbers. I'm just gonna say I want Steph on at least the defensive team. He's been ridiculous, but Draymond has been, the dude leads the charge on defense. And I think what helps is that we have actual people that can play basketball this season. No Oubre, no Bazemore, no Brad Wanamaker. We don't have dumbasses playing defense. And I think that's been the huge difference. Otto Porter is really good on defense as a help defender. And Minha Bielitsa is not a pushover. Gary Payton is just like his damn dad. So we've been so good on defense because everyone, like you guys have said, is bought in. And Draymond has been his best version. He's actually shooting the ball. I don't want to talk about his offense, but his defense has been ridiculous. I mean, to go up against Sabonis and Turner tonight and play really damn good defense is impressive because he's 7 inches shorter than them at sometimes. Draymond's been phenomenal. And Steph has been really good. The whole team has been really good on defense, but Draymond is definitely leading that charge. I will say Maverick Carter can't score on Steph anymore. And I don't want people to think Maverick Carter can, because Maverick Carter's he's a dumbass. Anyway, so coach of the year. I have a combo with Billy Donovan. The Bull. I don't know if I can say that now because the Bulls are kind of like in a spiral. So we'll take Billy Donovan out of that for now. But Steve Kerr and Monty Williams. Steve Kerr because the Warriors have been so damn good, and Monty Williams because the Suns team is picking up right where they left off. Even though they were like 1-3, they went on a huge winning streak. 18, 19 wins in a row. They've been so damn good on both ends. Mikal Bridges is so damn good on both ends. And the Warriors, I mean, we've talked enough about the Warriors for now, so we can get back into them a little later. But I think either of them I would be happy with. Eastern Conference is kind of tougher because none of the Eastern teams have been phenomenal. The Western Conference has really kind of shined so far. But who's your guys' coach of the year choice?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I have technical difficulties, but go ahead, Myles.
Let's go. I wanted to stop you when you took out Billy Donovan because that was my guy. I care a lot about context. Sometimes it means more than like the headline to me, and just how much roster turnover they had, especially the big names. Again, I've told you guys I didn't think DeRozan would work along with LaVine, but he's having one of his best seasons of his career, and they look so good. They're solid on both ends. I know they got hit with the COVID outbreak, but I mean, to be the second seed with the 5th best record in the league, I want to give a lot of credit to that, because not only are you trying to maximize the play style, but the egos, of course. You have DeRozan coming from San Antonio, who that's his worst stint in his career, to come here to buy in, and for them to be playing this well this early. I want to give him all the credit.
Yeah, honestly, me, before the season started, I said it wasn't going to work. So a couple of weeks into the season, I was ready to eat my words. And so, Billy Donovan is definitely up there, Steve Kerr. But I think, my dark horse, okay, well, you know what? Let me start off with this. I do think what Billy Donovan has been able to do for the Bulls is crazy, because earlier, before the season started, me, Myles, Spence, we were all like wondering what our players looking at to go to the Bulls, right? And we didn't know what it was, but hey, they made it work. Monty Williams, that streak that the Suns went on is going to be a good thing for his resume moving forward. But I'm gonna have to. My dark horse was JB Bickerstaff, man. That was my dark horse, because nobody counted the Cavs to go back up to where they're at right now. I mean, it's the East. We know what kind of division that they have, but they're making it work too. So kudos to them. But I have Steve Kerr. Fuck man, I hate it so much, bro. I have Steve Kerr, and congrats to him for being the new USA coach. But just to do what he's doing with the players that he had, we, including Spence, had them no higher than 5-4 coming in, right? And now they're like the number one seed, fighting alongside Phoenix. But it just goes to show that one, he made the right decision not going to New York, and two, it's just bringing winning basketball back to the Warriors after, a year of downtime, year or two of downtime. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it, but I think it's just between him and Monty Williams. And it's just as far as how the season is going to go is how well it's going to fare out. But can we even put Steve Nash in there? Because I think KD, he's doing everything, But yeah, so, Steve Kerr, but my dark horse is JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, I like the JV Bickerstaff has been really good. Darius Garland has been really damn good for the Cavs. I think a lot of the credit has gone to Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But Darius Garland deserves his praise. I mean, a lot of people actually maybe they didn't count out, but when Colin Sexton went down, a lot of people thought, the Cavs are done. That's it. Colin Sexton didn't have that much to do with it. I think Darius Garland kind of thrives without Colin Sexton, unfortunately. Because Colin Sexton he's a damn good player, but he's not going to fit with a guy like Darius. Darius has been really good for that Cavs team. That Cavs team has been shocking to me. I don't know how you play 3 7-footers together and thrive, but hey, they're doing it. But yeah, I think Steve Kerr, Monty Williams would be really good. Billy Donovan also should be considered. I like what you said about, like how they just it's a almost a whole new roster, right? And I think that's never something any coach wants to deal with, but he's dealt with it really well. DeMar DeRozan is putting up MVP numbers, and nobody's really considering him as an MVP. Lonzo Ball looking like a shooter, like what many thought he would be. Zach LaVine is Zach LaVine. Boots a straight bucket. Caruso has been damn good for them. I'm hoping they figure out this COVID situation, because they're going to be really scary to face in the playoffs, because defensively, they're a problem. But going on to most improved player, who do you guys have winning that award?
Even though he's petered out a little bit here, I still want to give Miles Bridges, just because how much his numbers have improved from last year. His points are up almost by 10. His rebounds are like 6 or 7. And he's a big reason why the Hornets are doing well. Again, they've had the recent people on COVID, so they've kind of slowed down a little bit. But I wanted to give it to him, and then I'd put John there, John Morant, but he's gonna win plenty of awards for the rest of his career. So I'll just give it to Miles Bridges.
Yep, I have you, Myles.
Hey, put on for the
Yeah.
Mileses.
Yeah, I have Miles Bridges for sure. He definitely cooled down, but like what we discussed in earlier podcast, it is a contract extension year for the boy, so he's going crazy. And at Michigan State, when I was watching him closely, because of how it was with Duke, he wasn't even shooting the way that he did, and to change that and to develop a shot, it's great to see, because he's taking his game to the next level. We all know the athleticism. You can't teach athleticism, and he got it already. That's why the Hornets are so exciting to watch. They got so many players that are so bouncy. It's crazy. But yeah, he's playing for that contract, and I respect it. And like Miles said, Ja, he's there. Unfortunately, he's down right now. But and you also have to consider JP, Jordan Poole, right? He's cooled off too. He's had a hot start.
No, we don't. That's enough Warriors love today. I think we're
I
done.
know. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, no, those three guys, definitely can see them in consideration. But more so on Miles Bridges. And I hope he stays with the Hornets because I feel like it's a great fit for him. And I think he will, just because they want to keep LaMelo happy. And um, Kelly Oubre out there for Spencer hooping. No, but Miles Bridges. That's my pick.
So I'm going to show more Warriors love. I'm going Jordan Poole. He's been really good. He's really filled that Klay Thompson void really well. He's a nice compliment off of Steph. Their two-man game is still really good. He works well with Draymond. I really like to see that. Going from 12 points a game to, I think, 18 points a game now. He's had a nice stretch, I think, over the last like 6 or 7 games, he's averaging 20. So he's looked really good. I also want to give Darius Garland a shout out because he's been phenomenal for the Cavs, like we said. Miles Bridges, I was kind of wrong about. I didn't think he was gonna. He's not gonna put up 30 points like he was in the beginning. But he's been really good for them, and I think that relationship with LaMelo is kind of what kind of feeds them, because it's nice to be best friends with your point guard like that, and it really shows because LaMelo trusts him, and I think that's a big respect to them. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole's been really good for the Warriors, especially with Klay Thompson out. Six man of the year, it actually looks interesting this year. For like 10 seasons, we're either going Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, and it was just gonna be a combination of one of those two. This year, Tyler Hero has been really good. He's been good off the bench for the Miami Heat. I think recently he started starting games with Jimmy Butler out, so I don't know how that's going to affect the six man. But I mean, 20 points per game, 45% from the field, 39 from three. Miami Heat's still really good. He's giving me the vibes of James Harden off the bench when he was with the Thunder. So I could see Tyler Hero being really good someday, but at the same time, Tyler Hero looks like a guy that kind of feeds off of people's hate. So when people give him praise, maybe he'll slow down again like he did last season. So you never know with these guys. He might slow down after the hot season this season. But what do you guys think for six man?
Bro, realistically, I have Carmelo Anthony. Come on, man. You know what? Um, don't factor the away games. No, I'm just kidding. But what Melo's been able to do at year 19 for him as well, right? Putting up the offense and carrying us in many games this season when we needed him the most. I think that factors in. Melo deserves a lot of respect, and it's still baffling to me how he was out of the NBA for quite some time, and the Lakers signed Jared Dudley over him. I'll never forget that. Should have been with us from the get go, but just what he's been able to do. But some might call that pick being biased, and I agree with them. So if I had to make a more realistic pick, it would be Tyler Hero, because like you said, it does give me James Harden vibes with that Thunder team, and to bounce back from the slump of the sophomore season that he had, I think, yeah, people need to hate him for him to be good. Because if you praise him, it's just like, dude, like, come on, man, hate me, and he loves being that villain. But yeah, I just watching games up close for the Lakers and seeing what Carmelo does, it makes me really appreciate his game even more. Because as a fan, I've seen my team play against him and him tear it up against my team. But now that he's on my team and seeing what he does, it's just instant offense. And it's kind of like his case for six man of the year is the same way that Lou Williams was. It's just straight buckets. You know what I mean? The buckets that he gives. Especially when Lou Will was killing it for the Clippers. I mean, he wasn't really offering that much defense. it was just straight buckets, right? And that's what Melo brings, except in road games. But you know what? He's getting better. All right, so it's good. It's good.
I'm gonna go with a guy CJ is a big fan of, who I didn't love last year. Montrezl Harrell. If these names come out of nowhere, I kind of like for these season awards, I kind of like to spread the love around. Excuse me. Um, and I did that with the Cavs, having Evan Mobley, rookie of the year. And I want to do that for the Wizards because no one expected the Wizards to be the fifth seed. Sorry, not the fifth seed, the sixth seed. Um, Obviously they were part of the big Russ Westbrook trade. Kuzma's been hooping for him. Harrell's been hooping for him. KCP even a little bit. Dinwiddie has come back very well, which I'm happy to see. And yeah, Harrell's been such a solid big for them. If not for him, there would be such a big hole there. And he's undersized also. So I would probably still pick Tyler Hero just if I was a betting man, but I want to give Harrell some love.
Charles, I miss you.
I don't, but good job.
What about KCP's dunk last night? That was nasty, right? Off the backboard.
Yeah.
Hey, you can take the jersey out, but you can't take the Laker out of it.
Mana from heaven.
The Wizards have been good. I mean, they slowed down recently. Hey, Kuz, game winner.
Oh, brother. God. Hey, you should get fined more.
No, Kuz hasn't been playing well. I think he's averaging like 12 a game, so can't say we were right. But so on to the last topic. Let's go with biggest disappointment player first, because we'll end on a good note. So who is your guys' biggest disappointment this season?
Oh, clearly. Is there any surprise? Hey, Disney, come on, man. It's ridiculous, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I would feel twice as bad, or I would feel worse if I found out there was a nagging issue that we talked about earlier. Hopefully that's not the case. But dude won a chip and just said, all right, cruise control, right? Man, like he just hasn't been himself. And I don't know what it is. He's so soft, bro. Softest superstar ever. Like, you know, that video resurfaced of Kobe, you know, talking to the Lakers and saying soft is charming. I'm like, man, RIP Kobe. But if he was here right now and he walked into the practice facility, that's what they would need, man.
I love that video, bro.
Yeah, man, me too. I love that video, you know, because I feel like LeBron and Kobe, what separates them is the fact that LeBron can't call people out the same way that Kobe does. And, you know, like, I feel like it's something that he would want to say to AD. You not doing anything for me, right? You know, so it's definitely AD for my disappointment player. No question.
I had two dudes, and it didn't include AD because I was honestly just blind to it. I have to admit that fantasy basketball kind of blinds my judgment sometimes. And I mean, even I mean, the Lakers have been bad, but he's been putting up numbers. So, but yeah, I would put him there just because the impact isn't there as it should be. We were talking before we started recording that the Lakers are doing well as of late because LeBron's back, despite AD being out the last two games. So that says a lot to me. And yeah, the talks about AD and Giannis being so close together, like that, there's none of that now, nor should there be. The two names I had, one was Joel Embiid, just because health. I mean, but both these guys is kind of health. They're still playing decently well despite him being in and out of the lineup. So one was Embiid, and then two, this is kind of personal because of fantasy basketball too, is Dame, man. The year I pick him first, he has this year. And again, outside of fantasy basketball, he's Like the whole team has been very bad, but Dame's shooting numbers have still been way below average, especially coming off of last year. I'm still very surprised that he hasn't asked for a trade or even hinted at leaving. He's still standing firm on staying, which I mean, good on him still, I guess, but I don't know. It's getting kind of old for me. Like I'm a big Dame fan and I do want to see him win. And I know it's not gonna happen in Portland. So uh definitely those two. And yeah, you could put AD there, sure. Yeah.
So I picked James Harden. Almost all of his numbers are down. And I think the most concerning one is his field goal percentage. He's shooting 40% from the field. He is what, 2 years removed from scoring 36 a game, 1 year removed from scoring 34 on the Rockets, and then going down. I'm just not sure what happened to him. I mean, he played with stars in Houston. He played with CP3. He played with Russ, and he still put up big numbers. And I'm not sure if it's because they kind of let him do his thing and maybe Katie doesn't. But I really thought that James Harden was going to come out this season and kind of ball out with Kyrie out, but he hasn't. He's put up not career lows, but he's put up his worst numbers since his first season in Houston. And if I'm a Nets fan, I'm frustrated because this guy, we traded a lot to get him. And even with what people thought was our third best player out, he's now kind of regressing. And I'm not sure if it's because he doesn't care. I'm not sure if it's injuries, but James Harden has been really bad for the Nets. And as a Warriors fan, I'm cool with it. I don't like James Harden like that. You know, he's not my favorite player, but it's tough to see him driving the lane, trying to get some free throws when you know it's not going to happen. And that's the thing. It's like he's averaging 7 free throws a game, and with the Nets last season, he averaged 7.3. This season, he averaged 7.4. So it's not free throws. It's just he just really is struggling to hit shots. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he's definitely been a huge disappointment. Anthony Davis has definitely been a huge disappointment. Dame, I'm not sure what's going on with Dame. I think maybe doing Team USA was not good because he wasn't even good with Team USA. So I'm not sure what's going on with him. But on to the biggest surprises. I knew Cole Anthony was going to be good. He's a straight bucket, but I didn't think he was going to score 20 points a game. I also didn't think he was going to start this season with Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs has been awful this season. I think it's injuries and trying to get used to a new system. But Cole Anthony has been phenomenal. 20 points, six rebounds, 5.6 assists. He's a little more efficient, 42% than last season. 37 from 3. Cole Anthony he's the truth, man. I didn't think he was going to be that good coming out of college. I think he was kind of a project player. But Cole Anthony has been really good. I also want to give a shout out to Seth Curry. I think he's been really good for the Sixers. He and Tyrese Maxey were really good while Joel Embiid was out. But who are you guys' biggest surprises this season?
For me, I'm going to go with DeMar DeRozan. To be able to revitalize his career with Chicago, I think it's just he's a pro's pro, and fitting into a new system and having a different role. I think it's very difficult, and for him to translate his game. Obviously, he's not as explosive anymore, but that mid range is a killer. There's times where he's looked absolutely unstoppable, and at this point in his career, it's amazing to watch. And like I said, we had questions about fit issues and how they were going to make it work, but he has proven he could play alongside Zach LaVine. I think there was a game where he dropped 36, Zach LaVine had 24, and Lonzo had 18, and it was just a solid balance. And it's crazy because he was with a good coach in San Antonio. The fit just wasn't right. And now with Billy Donovan, like he's just going crazy. And um, I'm a fan of DeMar DeRozan just because he wanted to win out in Toronto and he gave so much for the city and they did him dirty. And now he can go out and just actually go back to strictly hooping for Chicago. And so I have him as the player that really surprised me this season.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I had DeRozan too. We've discussed the expectations we had coming into the season, and it's kind of like the Warriors where he way exceeded my expectations. God, imagine him on the Lakers right now, bro. Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
It was a done deal, man.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, like Spencer said earlier, he's putting up MVP numbers and has that kind of impact, but it's not being talked about just because they're pretty loaded. But it's easily DeRozan for me. Watching him play is so good. It feels like he's gonna make every single shot, especially his game in the paint and mid range in today's NBA. Oh, God. Just imagine, bro. Damn it.
Facts.
Could have had him over Russ.
God.
Facts. Facts. Man.
It's okay. You guys are getting better.
Hey, Russell Westbrook's the greatest basketball of all time, man.
Oh
We're at that stage.
Man.
We're at that stage, bro.
I hope so, dude. I have this front that oh, I don't care. Like I'm still keeping track. I'm still following.
Of course, bro. Same.
God, man. Hate it. Oh shit.
It's okay. Yeah. Anthony Davis is gonna be better.
Yeah. I'm gonna win the lotto tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you're right too, He's gonna wake up at some point.
Do you guys think you guys make some kind of trade at least? Because it sounds like THC is getting some love here.
Yeah, I think so.
We make a move for sure, but I would hate to see THT go. I would hate it.
Depends who we get back.
I would hate it.
I'm guessing THT for Jeremy Grant.
I mean,
that's my guess. That's not a good trade, but
what was it? Sorry, I missed it.
THT for Jeremy Grant.
I don't hate it, just because he can freaking defend, and we need that. He's out for a while now with an injury, but I still take it though.
I think you know what, LeBron quoting a Laker highlight of THT saying he's him. It's just that's it to me, dude. Like, bye.
He's gonna build them up, so he'll be like, let's get more trade bait on him.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly,
I think they move him.
Allegedly, there's 7 teams interested, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised because of the way that he is, and like I said, I would just hate to see him go. He's my favorite Laker. Like, I'm not even being like sarcastic. He's my favorite Laker. Like, he really is, and he's been my favorite Laker since that first 2019-2020 season. So
I think the problem is you have to trade him to like a rebuilding team. You can't trade him to a good team because no good team's gonna want a guy they're gonna rebuild with.
Yeah.
And none of the rebuilding teams have anyone really worth grabbing. Maybe you can get a Goran Dragic. That's a interesting one.
Yeah. Give me Tatum. How about that?
I just want to point out, Sham said that the Pacers want to rebuild. So I know Brogdon's name wasn't thrown out there, but
you could do Karis LeVert. But Karis LeVert is not what you guys need.
Yeah, I don't think he'd fit with us because he's ball dominant. We got 3 guys that do that already.
Yeah.
I think for me, I want Russ gone. So any point guard, not any point guard, but obviously like I want Dame, Brogdon. Maybe you could talk me into Simmons. I don't know, but yeah.
What about Brad Wanamaker?
Yeah.
Mike James.
Mike James is a hooper though.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Dude, you know who I saw? I think is still in the league is Marcelo Huertas. He's on the Rockets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is he really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
I had
crazy.
no idea.
unless ESPN Fantasy is wrong, because I look
Yeah.
up Kevin Herter a lot.
Yeah.
but but I saw Huertas on Houston. Crazy.
Oh wow,
We
that's
need
crazy.
him back. Shoot, man.
Hey, that backwards shot's pretty nice.
No, but honestly, yeah. To answer your question, the Lakers definitely make a move, bro. You got lead GM, man. Like it's like only a matter of time. And the only way that they wouldn't make a move is if for some reason we go like freaking 20-0 in the next couple of games. That's the only way, you know. But yeah, and Frank Vogel, I think, I kind of jumped the gun with him and not and blaming him because I saw a tweet. It was like, you know, he's not coaching Russ throwing those turnovers, right? He's not telling Malik Monk to play bad defense, right? So
Facts.
it's not entirely on him. It's just I think he gets the blame because of his rotations.
Yeah.
It's not working and he's still going with it. That's what it is.
The
Like,
funny thing is, like,
yeah,
people are like, yeah, they say, oh, he can scheme it up. Like, no,
yeah,
you can't scheme up bad defenders to play good defense.
yeah,
You
no,
can't do that. I've been
yeah,
telling people too, like,
yeah,
get off my guy. If
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
and I love Rob, like, blame Rob.
yeah,
Took a- he took a gamble. He
yeah,
overcorrected for offense over defense,
yep,
and they're being punished for it. So
yeah,
I would be very surprised if they don't make any move.
yeah.
And I think
They have to.
to be fair, like they brought Bazemore in to be the defense on the perimeter, but he's terrible on defense.
Who? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. And obviously he lost his shot. He can't shoot for shit now. And Avery Bradley's old as shit, apparently.
I know,
So
dude.
Bro, you know what though? So it's funny that you say that because when Bazemore gets in, he hits like at least 1 3. He always hits a 3.
He's
And
he's
it's
good,
garbage
he's
crazy.
good
time.
for one, but
Yeah,
that's it.
he's good for one. Exactly, that's it. But Bradley, like, I love Bradley too. Bradley's one of my favorite Lakers this season, and he showed that in the previous game. Bro, he was hooping, but he is old as shit though. But hey, man, he can still defend, bro. He's our best defender. You know what I mean?
And that says a lot, and that's terrible.
Exactly. That says a lot, and it's terrible. But I love AB, and he's still on a non-guaranteed contract, right?
I think so. I think he'd
So
have to be cut before like what, February?
I hope not.
I think he'll get cut if there's someone like interesting on the buyout market.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I hope not because bro, how you cut a starter? He's been the starter.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hey,
Again,
but
it's
there's no
roster.
Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a good defender either.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh,
we
you're
got
trolling,
Bazemore.
damn it. Oh, look at you in the 2C trolling over there with all these season awards. Oh, God.
Bro, we got Bazemore and Bradley as our
I
best
hate it
defenders.
here.
Like Myles said, that says a lot. So hopefully,
Dude,
man, like
and we're waiting for Ariza to come back and save us.
Bro,
I love
the
Ariza.
savior.
He's like 36, bro.
He's
Oh,
a
man.
savior, bro.
I shouldn't even be talking. Like this can all go away so quick.
Bro.
We're a quarter way through the season. I'm talking shit.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
I was just telling Spencer this, man. You know what? The Lakers and the Laker fan base see Ariza as the freaking second coming of Kobe or something. The way that
Seriously,
the way they're
man.
hyping him up, like, come on, bro. Like, Ariza almost there. You know what I mean? Like, he's the missing piece. And he might be. But like Miles said, he's 36.
Yeah, dude.
You
I
know?
don't know if you guys saw the video. Ariza's like he was warming up and he was taking a bunch of threes, and then Bazemore like slides in and like he's like doing like turnaround jumpers and stuff, and he's
I
like
didn't see that.
clinking everything. So
Man.
I'm glad to see him gone, but
Good times over here, man.
Yeah. It gets better. Promise.
All right.
hope for your guys' sake. But that's
Man.
gonna do it for us. That was episode 66. Appreciate you guys always coming back.
Of course, man.
Thank you too, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Yep, thank you.
But that's gonna do it for us. So check out our links down below. I'm gonna put all our social media and all that stuff. Check out Full Court Talk for more articles. But that's gonna do it for us. So catch you guys in the next one. Peace.